every business owner is in the same business. You're not in coaching. You're not in tech. You're not in marketing. You're not in e-commerce. You're in the contract business. Every deal you make, no matter what industry you're in, is a legal transaction. And if you don't understand that, you're legally exposed. I'm Karam Nahas, the 20-year battle-tested lawyer. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make with their contracts and why it destroys them in court every single time. And stay to the end. 2 free gifts are coming. Let's get into it. So let's start with the most important reframe in business. Business is just a promise. You promise to coach me. I promise to pay you. You promise to build my website. I promise to pay you. Promise to deliver legal services. I promise to pay you. That exchange, a promise for a promise, is a contract. So your entire business is just a matrix of these contracts, of these promises, overlapping each other. Every client, every vendor, every partner, every deal you make is a promise, and a promise is a contract, and that's business. You don't get to opt out of contracts. You're already in them every single day. The only question is whether your contracts are protecting you, whether you have the skills to know that, or they're working against you. Most of the time, they're working against you, because here's where most entrepreneurs go wrong. They're taking contract advice from the gurus out there on YouTube who are sales coaches, or from Google, or from other business owners who've never actually been in courtroom a day in their life. They have no idea how cases get settled. And I get it. Gurus are accessible. They speak your language. But let me ask you something. Would you take medical advice from somebody who's never been to medical school or even conducted an examination? Then why are you taking contract advice from someone who's never litigated one? Gurus teach you how to make money. That's what they're promising you. Lawyers keep you from losing it, and they help you solve hard problems, which are 2 completely different skill sets. So let me ask you, what's the most expensive advice in business? It's free advice from the wrong person. So here's what nobody else is telling you, and this is the part that's going to change how you really think about contracts in your business forever. Most entrepreneurs think that if they end up in court, a judge is going to hear their side of the story and sympathize with them, and judges really care about them. They couldn't be more wrong. I've been in courtrooms for literally 20 years, and let me tell you exactly what a judge thinks when a business dispute lands on their desk. They don't understand your business, nor do they care about you or your business. They get paid the same whether you win or lose. They got to be there, and honestly, they want to go have a 2-hour lunch. That's what they care about. And their job is to get your case out of their courtroom. They want you to settle, and they're irritated when you don't have a solid, clear contract. And here's the part that's going to really hit you. The judge looks at you, not the consumer, you as the business owner. You're the sophisticated party. You're the professional, the one who should have known better, the one with the money, the one who could have afforded a lawyer to draft a good contract. And now you're wasting the judge's time in his courtroom, and his time's valuable. He's got to go to lunch. And then there's a legal concept called the presumption against the drafter. And this one kills entrepreneurs. And most lawyers don't even know about this because they don't litigate cases. They don't see how cases get exposed in court. I used to. I've defended against it. I've used it. I've watched entrepreneurs get destroyed by this because they have ambiguous contracts. So here's exactly what this legal concept means. When a contract is ambiguous, and that's a huge problem, when a clause can be read 2 different ways or it's inconsistent with another clause in the contract, then the judge has to interpret the contract against you, against the person who drafted it, usually the business owner, the professional. They're the ones who wrote the terms. So if your contract is vague, and most are, you lose, not because you were wrong, not because the other side was right, but simply because your contract wasn't clear enough. And that's an easy decision for a judge to make. And that's what they want to do, is make easy decisions. And there's ambiguity everywhere. There's vague deliverables, missing timelines, undefined terms. I always look for definitions. Scopes that go one way, but not the other. And here's what makes it worse. Google contracts are inherently ambiguous. AI contracts are also inherently ambiguous. I work with AI every single day, and I would never trust a contract straight out of AI. It takes me hours to put together a great contract, and that's based on my skill set and experience that I put into AI. And I know what to look for and what's missing. And I would never trust a contract from AI without a trained litigator reviewing every single word, because I know exactly how to take that contract apart in court. I've destroyed them. And so does every other experienced litigation attorney. And now if you want to complicate this further, add to this the consumer protection statutes, the FTC rules, state laws that most entrepreneurs have never heard of that override your contract entirely, that can nullify your contract. It doesn't matter what your contract says. Sometimes the law will just supersede it, and a judge will hold you to those laws, whether you knew about them or not, whether or not you retained counsel, whatever. You're a professional. You're held to a higher standard. That's just how it works. Judges show no sympathy towards business owners. So when entrepreneurs ask me, what's the biggest mistake you see entrepreneurs make? It's that. Ambiguous contracts drafted by people, never been in a courtroom, reviewed by lawyers who've never litigated, downloaded off Google, used by AI, whatever, and they're signed by entrepreneurs who usually want to go into civil courts, the wrong courts, to get relief, and they don't realize judges don't care about them. They got to make the judge's job easy, and they also want to be in chancery court. That's a whole nother video, but these are mistakes that are fixable. Like everything I just talked about, clauses that you're missing, provisions that protect you, the language that actually holds up in court from a battle-tested lawyer. I've developed a checklist. It's for client contracts. It's completely free. The link's below. Check it out. I'll tell you exactly what's missing from your client contracts. That's one of my free gifts for you. So now what do you do to fix your contract issues? Number one is stop using templates and AI contracts without expert review. And if you're going to use them, at least have a litigation attorney you can call and go over them with, because these contracts are full of ambiguity that a good lawyer will exploit. So you got to fix them. You have to start thinking about clarity like a lawyer does. Every term, every deliverable, every obligation, if it can be read two ways, it's a big problem. And you have to look at the cup being half empty. That's how you win. That's proactive power. That's what I talk about. That's why having a battle-tested lawyer in your corner who's got litigation experience is so good, because they're the only ones who understand how cases really settle, how judges really think, and how to really think like a lawyer to prevent your problems. Now, your contracts are the foundation of your business, so build them right or pay for it later. They're so important. They should be your weapons. You shouldn't be afraid of them. It's not that difficult to understand them. You do much more complex things in your business, so embrace them. So grab the ultimate client contract checklist below. That's what I mentioned before. It's free. The link's below. And like I promised you, your second free gift is a personalized legal risk analysis of your business built by a 20-year litigation attorney. That's me, the battle-tested lawyer. I analyze every major legal threat you face based on my system. I trained the software, so it does it for you right away. I would charge $7,500 to do this in person and give you a report for it. The link's below. It's completely free. Take you just a couple minutes. You find out exactly where you're legally exposed, because like I say, defense wins championships. I'm Karam Nahas, the battle-tested lawyer. Stay legally bulletproof.